Okay, guys, so this video is going to be a little bit different, and I am experimenting right now with Zoom, which I've never used before, but I think it's kind of cool, and we'll see if this actually works out. So I have my wing girl, Nikki, on the line with me, and we're doing a little screen share. Hopefully this works out, but I asked her to conduct a Tinder experiment, and actually now she's done it on several different social applications, but it was really interesting. And I just wanted to show you how other guys are reaching out initially and how they're presenting themselves in this in their first points of contact with women, just so that you can see what you're up against, and even what you can see are like complete douchebags online, and thinking to yourself, like, I'm not going to be able to compete with these other guys because they know how to carry themselves better. Like, what we're about to show you is the majority of guys that reach out to girls. And I will say that because of the way that these guys act that I'm about to show you, it's why women have such high barriers to entry, and really just being a normal guy who knows how to have a conversation, which I can teach you about how to do at winggirlmethod.com. Just being a normal human being really pays off for you. So let's like knock down all those "there's other guys that are better than me" beliefs, and rise up and realize how freaking awesome you are because you watch these videos and you have an active interest in learning how to better yourself. Anyway, I want Nikki to take over because I want her to walk us through what she did. So Nikki, it's your turn.
Awesome. So we can get started with the slides.
Okay.
And just scroll down. So as you can see,
and my head's cut off on purpose, so don't think that the screen is messed up. So I would say Nikki is not the best at screen grabbing, but she's a really good wing girl.
I did it on purpose, so it wasn't all about what you looked like, but just so that really these guys can see what kind of description I wrote in the profile acting as Marni. So really letting them know that I wanted a guy who was going to approach me. And if it was a good approach, I would be intrigued and be interested, or if not, I was going to be his wing girl and I was going to help him so that he doesn't make the same mistake when he approaches the next girl.
Okay, good.
When I was on Tinder, if you can see by the next one, I kept getting a ton of matches, which was great. Constantly throughout the day, I had multiple people matching me that even if you go to the next slide.
Well, now I'm looking at who was matching with me, maybe. Become single again. Okay.
Yeah, I ran out of likes. So one thing I liked with Tinder in a weird way is because I was liking every single person, but there's a point where you can't like people anymore.
Okay.
You have been timed out from Tinder. Okay. So it's great. So it's not just that guys are sitting there for hours and hours and hours liking people. There is a time, and Tinder has stopped you from doing this, so that you kind of had to put a break and actually engage with the people that you've matched with.
Okay. And you found that people did engage on Tinder?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Especially compared, and I'll talk about that after, but compared with Hinge and Bumble and Happen and all of those apps, Tinder I found the most engaging.
Okay.
So now we can walk you through a couple conversations I had.
Okay.
So yeah, the first guy here, as you can see, he kind of creeped me out. His first message and first point of engagement was, "I'll see you later tonight." And to me, I was kind of taken aback by that, thrown off, and was expecting a better approach from him. And then even I asked him and called him out on that, saying if it works for other women. And he just kind of replied back in a weird way where he could have flipped it and made me intrigued and been like, yeah, maybe I do now want to see you tonight. But instead, he just wrote, "Me, creep woman out, never." And then we kind of ended the conversation.
Can you tell me what he could have written to sort of own that and like turn it around? I know that maybe you're not the best with lines, but what could have been something he could have said to switch it around?
If I were to say, "Does that work?" or "creep woman out," if he were to reply and say, "It actually has worked. I find sometimes if I talk too long with women on Tinder, they don't want to end up meeting me. So this way, I want to get right to the point. I think you're attractive. I want to meet you." Something like that. To make
I would have gone with something more sarcastic, but that actually was a good response as well.
Yeah, it can be sarcastic or something to be truthful. "You're hot. I want to meet you. I don't want to talk for hours." And then, yeah, maybe I do just want to fool around with you, or I do want to pursue something further, but you're getting straight to the point and dragging on a conversation.
Okay, go on to the next one.
So the next one. So this guy, I could tell it was one of those cheesy lines he was using. And sometimes I'm all for them because sometimes they can be funny and you don't know anything about me. So yes, start a conversation. But the fact is, what kind of threw me off with this guy was that before I even had a chance of replying to really understand his pickup line. He
Right.
already had. So I was like, oh, okay, you're doing this pickup line, this weird cheesy smoke detector in my home, whatever. But I haven't even had an opportunity to reply. And as you can even see with the messages, it hadn't even been about 20 minutes.
Right.
I wasn't living on Tinder for this afternoon. But it just didn't work for me.
Yeah, it wouldn't work for me either. Like it can be, these jokes can be playful and funny because they're so cheesy. And like if somebody uses it the right way, it could totally work. But I like what you said, when you have to explain the joke or pickup line right after, it's not a good one. I think that was a good wing girl tip. Okay.
Perfect.
Even though Waleed super liked you, but it did not match up. Okay.
Super like is also a weird thing, which we can talk about later, but I don't understand them still. But next lines. So then these are two guys who actually used the basic, simple approach of kind of asking me, literally only saying hello, but adding context to it. So message saying hi, hey, hello, you're beautiful, what's up? They added and expanded on it and let me know that for either the first guy is he couldn't think of a line and all he really wanted to do was say hello to me.
Okay.
Or the next guy who that line was my favorite, is he was having writer's block. He couldn't think of an opening line. He needed my help to come up with that follow-up and already asked me for coffee.
Okay.
He was uncomfortable, didn't really know what to say, but maybe we can meet and discuss it in person.
I kind of like these too. I think they're sincere and real and honest, and especially when you're being bombarded with, getting scared about your house burning down.
Exactly. Or if I'm seeing him tonight,
These are definitely, it makes them look even better. But to be honest, even if you didn't have those other ones, they would still be good. Okay, so let's read this one.
Actually, if we go back to the last one for 1 second.
Yeah.
The guy on the left, the one thing I would say with his second half of the message is he asked me too many questions all at once.
Yeah.
He was like, what's your favorite food, your movie, your favorite position, all of these things. But then he also tried to be a bit sexual.
Position.
But then he took it back. He started saying it. He was great. Like, fine, throw that in there if you want to. But before he even sent that message, he took it back. So he didn't even give me that opportunity to try to be a bit sexual with it if I was up for that. He already took that comment back. So then I had no idea where to go with it.
Okay. So what do you think about the LOL?
It shows that he was nervous to write it.
Right.
Is that he was just like, I'm going to put it in, see if she likes it. But then I'm joking if she's turned off.
Right. It sounds like.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm a little scared boy who has no idea what I really want to say.
I can't be sexual. Like it sounds nervous. You're right. You're totally right. Okay. Yeah. So I don't like them there either. So something that would have been better would have been tell some things about yourself. I would have spelt things correctly.
Exactly.
Tell me something about yourself. Favorite food, music, movie, position, ... Like that would have been good.
Yes.
You opened up properly in the beginning, except for that LOL that's there. And yeah, I think that would have been a better flow of conversation and like let you hold that tension thinking like, whoa, what is he writing to me? Exactly. I mean, they're already attracted to each other. So there is something there. And that's a slow escalation to see where you're at that point. So I would have actually liked that. But you're right. He covered up and said, the last one was a joke. You don't have to answer it. That's exactly how it's
going to. So then he has no idea what my favorite position is.
Right, exactly. So this guy missed out. Mario missed out big time. Okay, last one.
So the last one. So Anthony. So what really threw me off with him is his first, besides the fact that he messaged me about 12 times, his first message gave me his phone number, which I understand in a sense why he was doing it.
They don't charge you on Tinder.
Exactly. And it's like, I can still keep you in my life in this weird mystery way and I can do whatever I want with you. And then I never have to add you to my real world of my cell phone.
Right.
Because I don't know about you, but my phone, if I program a number in there, no matter what, because of the freaking cloud, I cannot delete it.
Right.
So Anthony will be in my life forever, no matter what. But if I want him as a one-night stand or somebody who I never have to talk to after, I go on Tinder and meet him on there.
Exactly. And I don't like that he continued to write you. You're beautiful. Call me. It sounds like for online dating when there's fake Russian hot girls that are writing to men, and they're just like so into those guys that it's so obvious that they're fake. Oh, I like you, call me. Oh, it's just like, this is what this guy sounds like. It's yucky.
Exactly. And it's too much in such a short period of time. Like, I haven't been on my Tinder. I'm sorry. Let me process. And then if I'm into you again, I will reply.
Yeah.
But now, because I have so many messages, I'm deleting you.
Right, exactly. So like let's just, I want to hear what you learned from this overall experiment, because obviously there were a lot more. You said I matched up with a lot of people. So what did you learn from this experiment?
So from Tinder specifically, I learned that the odds are in your favor. There's a ton of people who are going to message you, and I liked that because a lot of guys were approaching.
Okay.
However, there were a lot of messages that were the simple, hi, hey, hello, you're beautiful.
Right.
Which is great because, yes, if I'm attracted to you, it really doesn't matter what you're going to say. But I was getting so many of those that it was just too much to then have to reply to them for that.
Right.
So for that respect, it wasn't working. However, comparing it to Hinge and Bumble and Happen, not as many people are messaging on those sites. I was matching with pretty much just as many people, but they're not following up. And those apps actually have a time limit with your match expiring versus Tinder. And those people still weren't messaging me. So like on Hinge,
so that's good for guys to know that very few people are taking the initiative on Hinge. So if you do want to go out there and you know how to write a good opening text or Tinder message to somebody, and then can actually have a proper conversation afterwards where you're not pouncy Mr. Anthony here, and you can actually express yourself well without LOLing. You can actually do very well because nobody is reaching out on Hinge. Bumble and Hinge. And what was the other one?
And Happen.
And Happen. These are great little tidbits that people can use. I'm glad we did this experiment. We've been kicked off of every one of those social apps. So right now, but I think that was fun. It was worthwhile. We got a good insight into what goes on. And really good feedback that I think people can use. The takeaways are, I said it before, like go on Tinder and just be that guy who writes a proper sentence to a woman, but more so go onto those other sites where guys are not taking the initiative and making the approach, because I think you can really capitalize on those apps because nobody's doing anything. They're just matching up to feed their ego, but they're not actually acting on anything. So thank you, Wing Girl Nikki. I thought this was really good. And if you like this little change up in our videos, if you want us to do more experiments, I would love to hear your suggestions on experiments that we can do. We are very fine with being covert and doing things that may be against the rules to try and get awesome information for you. So let us know. Write it in the comment below. Email me or email my assistant, Jen, with 2 N's, at winggirlmethod.com. And for more tips on how to attract, date, seduce, and get any girl you want, whether it's in real life, Tinder, online, wherever, go to winggirlmethod.com.